AnnyeongBuzz, welcome back to the channel where we go beyond the stage lights and dive into the real stories of your favorite idols. Today, we're going to talk about something that will hit you right in the heart. Because even though TWICE is now one of the most successful girl groups in the world, their road to stardom was anything but easy. Before the hit songs, the awards, and the global tours, there were struggles, doubts, and sacrifices. And honestly, that's what makes their journey so inspiring. So let's break it down. The 7 biggest hardships TWICE overcame as trainees before becoming top stars. First, we have Jihyo's 10-year struggle to debut. Can you imagine training for 10 whole years before finally standing on stage? That's more than a decade of sweat, tears, and endless waiting. Jihyo started training as a child, and at one point she was lined up to debut in a group called 6 Mix, which was supposed to include her, Nayeon, and Jonghyun. But that group's debut got canceled. Think about how crushing that must have been. Training for years, preparing mentally, believing you were about to debut, and then watching it all disappear overnight. Honestly, most people would have quit right there. But Jihyo didn't. She pushed through 16, the survival show, and finally debuted as TWICE's leader. And I think that's why she carries such strong leadership today. She knows exactly what it feels like to fight for a dream when everything is stacked against you. The second hardship is Momo's extreme weight loss story. This one is heartbreaking because it shows the darker side of the industry. Momo was told she had to lose 7 kilograms in just 1 week before a showcase. To achieve that, she basically starved herself, eating nothing but a single piece of ice, spitting constantly to try to reduce water weight, and even going to bed scared she might not wake up. Just imagine the pressure of being so young and having to choose between your health and your dream. I want to pause here and ask you guys, if you were in Momo's shoes, would you have been able to push through something like that? Or would you have walked away? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this is the kind of story that makes us reflect on how much idols sacrifice. Third, we have Jonghyun's bakery ambitions. This one always makes me smile a little, even though it's bittersweet. Jonghyun once admitted that she loved working part-time in a bakery so much, she actually considered quitting trainee life to do it full-time. She even thought about opening her own bakery one day. And you know what? I can actually picture her being amazing at it. Can't you? But imagine if Jonghyun had followed that path instead of TWICE. We wouldn't have her powerful stage presence, her vocals, or her sharp humor. It really makes you wonder how many idols we never got to see because they walked away before debut. The fourth hardship is one that hits close to home for a lot of people, trading in their school days for trainee life. Many of the TWICE members have shared how tough it was to give up a normal adolescence. Jihyo once said she has no memories of school trips or family vacations because she went straight from class to training every single day. Chaeyoung too mentioned missing out on those moments. Think about it. While their friends were going to karaoke, hanging out at restaurants, and making memories, they were in the practice room, training until late at night. And yes, it paid off, but those teenage years are something they can never get back. I want to ask you guys, do you think you could have given up your teenage freedom like that if it meant chasing a dream? Or do you think you'd regret missing those moments later on? Fifth, Jihyo's body shaming. This one is tough to hear. During the survival show 16, Jihyo was openly called fat by a photographer during a photo shoot. Imagine working your hardest, giving everything you have, and then being humiliated in front of everyone like that. It wasn't just about her body. It was about someone trying to define her worth in a cruel way. But here's what makes Jihyo so inspiring. She didn't let that stop her. Instead, she performed Meghan Trainor's All About That Bass and completely flipped the narrative. She turned the criticism into fuel and proved she had the confidence and talent to lead TWICE. Honestly, that moment is one of my favorite examples of an idol reclaiming their power. Sixth, let's talk about Sana, Mina, Momo, and Suyu, the foreign members. Their hardship was more than just training. It was living in a completely different country, learning a new language, and adjusting to a new culture while being teenagers. Think about how isolating that must have felt at times. Not only were they away from family, but they also had to work extra hard to communicate and fit into an environment that wasn't built for them. And yet, they didn't just adapt, they thrived. Tasana, Mina, Momo, and Suyu are all fluent in Korean and beloved by Korean fans. That kind of dedication deserves so much respect. And finally, the seventh hardship, Nayeon's confession. During Twiceland the opening, Nayeon admitted that as a trainee, she would sometimes cry all day while holding Jonghyun's hand. She would even cry while walking down the street at night, feeling completely overwhelmed by the uncertainty of 16. Can you imagine being on the edge of your dream, but not knowing if tomorrow it would all be over? That kind of emotional stress can break anyone. But Nayeon pushed through, and that's why her smile today shines so brightly. Hearing all of these stories, I think what really stands out is that every single member of Twice faced moments where they could have walked away. Jihyo could have quit after Six Mix fell apart. Momo could have given up when her health was at risk. Jonghyun could have stayed in that bakery and lived a simpler life. Nayeon could have let her tears stop her from continuing. And for the foreign members, Sana, Mina, Momo, and Suyu, it would have been so easy to just go back home when the loneliness and language barrier felt too heavy. But here's the thing, they didn't give up, they pushed through. And that's what makes Twice's story so special. Behind the catchy songs and the bright choreography, there's this layer of resilience that you can feel when they're on stage. They didn't just become idols, they became survivors of one of the toughest systems in entertainment. Now, I want you to think about this. Twice's hardships aren't just sad stories from the past. They actually shaped the group we see today. Jihyo's patience and strength are why she's such a steady leader. Jonghyun's down-to-earth side reminds us that idols are human too, with real doubts and dreams outside of fame. Momo's grit turned her into one of the most admired performers in K-pop. And the foreign members? Their courage to start over in a new country is part of why Twice has such strong global appeal today. And honestly, as fans, that's why we connect so deeply with Twice. Their story isn't one of overnight success. It's one of pain, sacrifice, and perseverance. And let's be real, don't we all see a bit of ourselves in that? Maybe you're not training to be an idol, but you've had moments where you doubted yourself, where you sacrificed something for a bigger goal, where you cried not knowing if the outcome would be worth it. That's why Twice's journey hits so hard. It's a mirror of what chasing a dream really looks like. But now, I want to open up this conversation to you guys. Which of these 7 hardships hits you the hardest? Is it Jihyo's decade-long journey? Momo's extreme weight loss? Or maybe Nayeon's quiet tears during those uncertain days? Personally, I think Momo's story shakes me the most because it shows just how much idols are pressured to risk their health for an image. But Jihyo's perseverance is the one that inspires me. 10 years of training is basically her whole childhood and teenage years. What about you? Let me know in the comments because I really want to hear which story resonates with you the most. And let's not forget, this is only scratching the surface. These are just 7 hardships we know about. Who knows how many silent struggles each member faced that they never shared publicly? Behind every debut stage, there's 1,000 untold stories of sacrifice. That's the reality of K-pop. And it makes me appreciate groups like Twice even more. So next time you see them smiling, performing, and winning awards, remember, it's not just talent or luck that got them there. It's resilience, it's strength, and it's the choice they made every single day not to give up. And that's why Twice isn't just a top group in K-pop. They're living proof that hardship can turn into greatness. All right, Buzz family, that's where we're going to wrap it up today. If you found this deep dive into Twice's trainee struggles inspiring, make sure to hit like, share this video with another once, and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't just leave this as a one-way conversation. I want you to tell me your thoughts in the comments. Which story inspired you most? And do you think these kinds of struggles are still happening for today's trainees? Until next time, this has been AnnyeongBuzz, bringing you the real stories behind K-pop's brightest stars. See you in the next video.